down the left flank, but asking a lot of Bruno Fornaroli to sprint it down. And even though Bruno shows his appreciation for the idea, ends up in another goal kick.
It was a good run by Fornaroli, just outside, off the shoulder, if you like, of Tomislav Uskok. Into a good area. The pass just overhit, and it looks like a quick surface this afternoon. So those balls have to be pinpoint.
Interesting, MacArthur starting their entire backline very deep for this long goal kick. They all ran out together. And maybe that's because they suspected the ball might be falling to Victory feet, asking a lot of Arabuli to chest it down. Timotheo, we saw a promising pass from him a moment ago. Will he try it again? He's being tempted forward here, the centre-back, and eventually Jed Drew wins it off him, but MacArthur can't make the most of a defender being out of position. And it's the feet of Jake Brimmer instead. Listen to him roaring at his teammates, just shouting while in possession. And then his pass is sprayed out for a throw. And it's not the sort of frustration you want to see only 13 minutes into a game.
No, he's looking for movement. He wants forward runners because Jake Brimmer has got the passing range to find those forward runners. No one was willing, and he certainly made his point known.
So will it be different this time for the Victory? They get another shot. Brimmer, legged by Danny De Silva. Takes the free kick quickly. And Nunny, oh, it's off his heels. Nearly took it with him. Aspropotometis peels away. Now Vujica, Victory pressing, trying to win the ball back. Nunny dived in. Now they do prevail. Raimar Shah to Nunny. Great little step over, showing his close control. Shimmying away, fashioning some space. Can he cap it with an assist? There's no one able to advance onto the ball.
Well, that was quality from Nunny. First of all, getting back to defend and win the ball back for his team, and then the quality on the ball, as we've come to expect and know from a very, very famous career that he's had. But look at this, great awareness, run at the goal there. Player of Nunny's quality, you know he's going to whip it into a dangerous area.
Just made the MacArthur midfield disappear there for a second, didn't he? A couple of very neat shimmies on the ball.
Yeah, real quality. Not just to know where the space is, but to be able to use that skill to find the space. Give yourself time. What they say about all the great players, they always seem to have time on the ball.
Here he is again, in space. That pass, Cadete. Sweeping his leg through the ball, but not able to take it with him. And it gives us a chance to check in at pitch level with Tristan McManus.
Hello, gents. Yeah, what a good. This is the. He's almost telling Arzani to shoot on sight, and that's what you want. You can see Jake Brimmer's getting a bit frustrated, but that's bound to happen. Look, I think it's going to take a goal to get this game going. But what I love about this league is that every single team has players that can make things happen. It's great to see De Villa back. It puts a smile on my face every single time. D'Agostino can do things as well. Nani can do things. Arzani can do things. You know, there's definitely going to be.
So let's see what he does next time he gets anywhere near the penalty area.
Well, it's good coaching, isn't it, from Dwight Yorke, encouraging a player who he knows has got the ability to shoot when he's got the opportunity. That's a little bit sloppy there between Philip Curto and Uskok. But I thought for sure and certain Tristan was just about to say no one's really taken the bull by the horns yet.
Oh, he's on notice too for his next cross, I reckon, Mossy, now that you've said that.
You can bring the dad ones, Mossy.
And so Victory, a little bonus here after you saw the confusion between Uskok and Curto leading to this clearance. Now no thoughts of a long throw. Just going to wax down in the corner. Cadete lifts it onto his left side. Even though we saw a pretty spectacular goal from that sort of an angle on the opposite side of the pitch in Perth last night, no such replication for Cadete here.
I'm still going to stand by that. Brian Williams meant that goal last night. Sheer quality.
If you haven't seen it, well worth checking passing accuracy.
Tristan made a good point though, Mateo. There's been some good ball movement, but it's mainly been in midfield. Neither team has really settled into a rhythm just yet. There's been some sloppiness in the top third at both ends. So it really is down to who's going to grab that first opportunity, execute in the top third.
Might be Victory with the numbers they've got forward here. Nunny attracted two opponents, leaving space for D'Agostino. Now Brimmer, and Brimmer shot even though he had Economides free as a bird through the right, and that frustration for Jake Brimmer now.
Economides making a great overlapping run on the right hand side. So you see the ball just drop here for Jake Brimmer off Nunny's touch. Oh no, that's the foul, I beg your pardon. Or the collision. There's the touch there, and you can just see he's just flat-footed there. Jake Brimmer, he has to generate all the power himself.
So if there is blood, it may just be cosmetic, but given his promising start to this game, it's the last thing that Victory fans will have wanted to see.
Well, you certainly don't want to see him going down and under an injury cloud this early. If you're a Melbourne Victory coach or supporter or teammate.
Jake Brimmer trying to G himself up in the meantime, get some positive
Face on today, Jake, hasn't he?
And so Nunny, hopefully it's nothing more than a lip. He's biting down on the towel at the moment. Yeah, you can see there. Let's have another look. Oh, he got the shin right in the face.
Yeah, absolutely accidental. Nothing malicious in that at all. Yeah, he certainly copped it, didn't he?
Doesn't look like there's a need for a concussion protocol test. So I suspect once the cut lip is tended to, fourth official Tim Danaskos standing there next to Nunny, and
gee, took no prisoners there. Did Uscock. Injected himself into midfield to defend the situation. Set piece in a reasonably dangerous area for Melbourne Victory.
D'Agostino a little winded as he gets back to his feet. And he'll walk up to this set piece hunting what would be his third goal of the A-League men's season, depending on the delivery of Jake Brimmer right here. Brimmer's free kick to the far post, was hoping for Fornaroli, headed away by Miller. De Vere from deep, blocked initially. And Rai Marchand loses out as Davila steps around him. Arabuli. And a little deflection off Cadete leads to a Victory throw.
Now, I'm going to try not to run out of superlatives too early in this game, but how good was that from De Vere? That is absolutely brilliant to help play his team out of danger. So cool, calm, collected, skillful. Had everything. He's just such a wonderful addition to this competition.
MacArthur standing at the edge of the attacking third, not being lured in any further. And now they engage. Timotheo responds by hitting a diagonal ball. Brimmer has Economides. He sets off on a run. Economides not able to make the return pass work, but Guerrier is there. Brimmer went to ground at the key moment. Arzani picked his pocket. And now Daniel Arzani, still with half the pitch to run, feeds it to De Vere. And now Jed Drew. Arabuli's waiting in the middle. Drew. And as he twisted that onto his right side, he couldn't find a teammate, but the second ball is there for MacArthur. And they reload and go again. Cadete, who ushers it over the byline.
Yeah, I certainly don't want to be too harsh on young Drew too early in this game, but a little bit of constructive criticism. He needs a little bit more composure. That's his Just to get his head up and really pick a pass in those situations.
There is such a sharpness with how the ball was delivered out to the flank on that occasion. It will encourage Dwight York and MacArthur. Arzani, who started the move. Arabuli. Back to Arzani. Bacchus. And De Vere braced for contact, and contact arrived in the form of George Timotheo.
But you're right, that last move that put Drew away on the right-hand side, brilliantly started by Arzani as we see him brought to ground.
The fouls starting to add up in both directions now. Did you leave your cards in the locker room is the shout from the stands as Arzani lured in Economides here.
I'm still comfortable that that's not a card. It would only be given for a professional foul rather than a malicious one.
And so now it's a mid-range free kick for the Bulls. And they're going to take it short and wide to Arzani, and he sets off on the dribble, looks up at two opponents. Arzani jags inside. Bacchus to Buietza. Now Danny De Silva.
Didn't amount to anything on that occasion, Teo, but any young players, young wingers watching the game today should take special note of Arzani and where he to Melbourne victory. The way he carries the ball allows him to go either way and keeps the defenders guessing. He can go forward, he can come back, he can jink inside, use his shoulders. With a wonderful ability on the ball.
Karete. Just a bit of a kick and hope. Scooped it into the path of Arzani. Arabuli. Trying to keep the ball glued to his feet. Thrust his left foot at it. Didn't make contact. MacArthur get another chance. Danny De Silva. And Guerrier strips him of the ball. Arzani jinks inside. Get to see a booking.
Well, this time I'm a little surprised Barrero didn't go to his pocket, because that's the second offence from Timotheo in the last few moments. I would say that's his final warning.
And there is still a dangerous free kick to contend with here. All the tall timber has got forward. Arzani curves it in. Guerrier with an important header away. The follow-up from De Vere. Half-hearted shouts for handball. And the referee not taking an interest. Drew whips it across. Oh, it's been missed by the keeper. And Arabuli! It won't count. The whistle goes. And we remain scoreless, and Bachana Arabuli has what could have been his maiden A-League men's goal chalked off.
And the one
And the referee having a discussion here at the moment with Bachana Arabuli as to why MacArthur are not in a 1-0 lead. Seems to have accepted the call.
Just wonder if he was waiting as well for the VAR to dismiss any claims of handball just before that off De Vere.
So victory at the feet of Izzo. D'Agostino, a promising flick header for Economides. Nani is running through the middle channel here and will receive the pass. Fornaroli waits in the area. The cutback. D'Agostino got there. And he shuttles it back to Economidis. It's Economidis. He doesn't pull the trigger. Crosses it. And a vital header away initially. A volley is turned behind, and Cadete.
What a wonderful passage from Melbourne Victory there. All started from that flick on by D'Agostino to set Economidis on his way, and then he played in Nani brilliantly. D'Agostino then did the right thing, didn't play for a penalty inside the box, played on. To the back post, Matt Miller, desperation defence. Cadete, oh so unlucky.
And he's struck it into his own teammate there. Fornaroli was going up for that header. Miller gets it away with a vital clearance, only as far as Cadete. And then Cadete shoots into his prone teammate. And so it means we're scoreless, even though we've had flashes of chances at both ends. And now we wait for the goal kick. Everything is seemingly in order for Philip Curto to restart play. Ramashan up for the header. Bacchus. De Silva. And now Miller. To De Vea. Drives with the ball, Ulysses De Vea. Out to Drew. And Jed Drew. Tries to get round Cadete. And the whistle goes. There was a bit of grabbing and grappling, and the travelling Victory fans down in that corner.
Absolutely good refereeing there.
And so he heads back into the penalty area. You see there, 11 fouls, not even at the half-hour mark.
Yeah, I think that's the point there, Teo, that's probably costing us fluency of the game. A little bit stop-start with all the fouls.
Arzani's free kick whipped in. Away by Guerrier. He's in the right place at the right time. Arzani. And Victory calm it down to Lee Broxham at the centre of defence. Feels as though both teams have now warmed into the game. The sharpness is starting to come with some of the moves. Will there be a goal in the offing as we tick up to the half-hour mark? Scoreless at present. Here's a look at the areas of the pitch that Victory have been attacking down. They are hugging the right side at the moment, which is Chris Economidis' flank.
Yeah, and D'Agostino generally peels off to that right.
Gary going down.
First touch from Gary turned into a touch tackle situation. Can
have a few arguments there. Shana Arabuli. As Victory look to work the left flank, which they have. So Brimmer back to Izzo. Izzo hits it cross field, picks out the MacArthur man in Vujica. However, his header is going to take some chasing, and Arzani can't get to it before the line loomed large.
It's good defensive shape there by MacArthur. They didn't press high or with any real intensity. The front two just ushering Melbourne Victory into the areas that they wanted them, forced them all the way back. And then the turnover.
Cadete. Ranging forward, Nani takes it in stride, keeps it moving, and an important little touch there from Matthew Miller. what he's surveying before he just hits it long. Asks Barchana Arabuli to go up. Flick-headed to no one in particular.
Well, that's the thing. Not sure what he was supposed to do with that. There was no forward runners off him. There was no players getting close to him.
Great touch from De Vere. And now Arabuli with the ball at his feet. Drew is the outlet on the right. Took the shot. Couldn't beat the near man. Timotheu blocked it straight back to him. His tail. You talk about fouls interrupting the fluency of the game. That's probably case in point. Does Gary need to commit this foul?
No, he doesn't. He's just monstered De Silva on that occasion. He didn't need to try and win the ball. He tracked him into midfield, which was job done. Keep him facing away from goal.
Luscock. Drew. Back to where the passage of play started. Tomislav Luscock, long ball. Broxham's header, a shallow one. De Vere trying to protect the drop. Broxham back in. Players sliding for a loose ball. Now a tangle of legs. And eventually it's Cadete who wins the free kick. A little bit of afters here. De Vere and Lee Broxham with a couple of little shoves and slaps. And then Nunny comes into. Both players charge in at a loose ball.
That's what I love about De Vere. He's got all the silky skills, but he's not afraid to do the tough stuff either. He'll slide in on a tackle on Lee Broxham. You know it's going to be a physical encounter.
Aspropotovic with a long clearance. Guerrier set himself for the header. Nodded on to D'Agostino, and now Economidis. And this is where victory can threaten. Chris Economidis. Vujica guards him. And now has company in the form of Bacchus. And they've worked that well in a 2-on-1.
Well, that's brilliant from Bacchus. That's exactly what you want from your holding midfielder, to slide across and help the fullback defender winger, a tricky winger. Here's Economidis.
Bacchus opened up the pitch. De Vere clipping it on. De Silva get asked. De Silva with a lateral pass that Brimmer read like a book. And now he is looking to return it with interest. But it breaks away from D'Agostino. And a bit like Brimmer shouting in frustration earlier, the body language from victory just seems a little bit off at the moment.
Yeah, they just haven't got that synchronicity or the fluency yet. They're linking up in that top third. It was a good run from D'Agostino. Brimmer just chose the wrong direction to play his pass.
D'Agostino facing towards the goal he's defending. A bit of head tennis back and forth with Brimmer, and it comes unstuck. De Vere's there making a contest. And now Arzani, well, he tried to nutmeg Economidis, who was having none of it. Danny De Silva, one of the midfield workhorses for the Macarthur Bulls. Arzani goes to ground. Johnny Barrero waves away any appeal for a free kick. And we heard the grunt as Bacchus took in. D'Agostino there. Put him on. A little bit worse for wear. Trainer's not heading out just yet though, so looks as though he'll be able to get up under his own steam.
Yeah, and it's his turn there. He does very well, D'Agostino, to change direction. Bit of trickery to draw the foul from Bacchus. I think he's been excellent. He's done his defensive job well.
So the resulting free kick, Cadete gets the better of Miller, promising as he swings it through the box, and a safety first defending sees Aspropotometis headed behind for a corner. Perhaps not to know that Econometis was lurking far deeper in the penalty area, and so victory, maybe a set piece, can be their answer as they try to break the deadlock here.
Some will look at that and go, Cadete chose the right pass. Others will say it should have been cut back for Nick D'Agostino. He found himself in some space on the edge of the 6-yard box. He was disappointed the delivery didn't come. Given there was no one really willing at that back post for Melbourne Victory, you'd have to agree with D'Agostino.
It's taken us until late in the half to get the first corner of the game for either team. Lots of discussion about who's marking who in the penalty area for MacArthur as Jake Brimmer stands over the corner kick. And he slides it to Nunny. Did he keep it in? It matters not. And the whistle goes to say Philip Curto take it back and kick it off as a goal kick.
Well, what a shame for Melbourne Victory from their point of view. That was a really well worked set piece variation on the corner with Nani coming short. Good delivery into Fornaroli, just couldn't get his strike right.
Brimmer was central to that passage of play. His corner initially. Short into Nunny. Now Curto with a high hanging ball that drops right on the halfway line. Nunny wins the header. Slid out to the left by Fornaroli. Cadete spending more and more time in the attacking half. Nunny with a step over. No one was advancing though. Not sure if he heard a shout or if it was just a leave and hope on that occasion.
To get the ball wide on the left for Melbourne Victory, and then it would have been brilliant had Fornaroli been able to make up the ground, but he couldn't get there.
Nunny steps around Bacchus. De Vere committed a foul here on Raimar Shan, and Victory plake it very, very quickly and continue at the feet of Nunny. Now Brimmer. Are we going to see the visiting team turn up the heat at the end of this first half? Fornaroli was showing the referee that his arm was being held, but play continues.
He uses his body well, doesn't he? There's a real art to the way he uses his body. Not huge in stature physically, but such an imposing striker in so many different ways.
Guerrier draws a foul here. Walks back to his position on the right side of Victory's defence. Starting to take over possession in these last couple of minutes here, the Victory. So into the final 5 minutes of the first half. The game scoreless. MacArthur looking to break a bit of Victory momentum here with an attack of their own. Arabuli. De Vere dispossessed immediately.
It's a game in the first 40 minutes, Teo, that's been stuck in midfield. I think 2 shots either side, none on target for either side. It's probably the story of the first 40 minutes.
There are those numbers appearing underneath the scoreboard, which still reads 0-0. Nunny allowed to drive. Steers at central. Fornaroli back to goal. And now Nunny from distance.
There from Nani. You can't give him that sort of space so close to the edge of the box because he will hurt you eventually. Good to see him pull the trigger. Curto had it well covered. You can just see them not getting close enough to the ball there. Bacchus with a desperate slide late on. If there's one player capable of scoring from that distance, it is Nani.
Well, neither team has hit 0.1 xG yet. We're both on 0.08 at present, so not exactly peppering the target. Maybe Victory can be a bit more incisive here. Nani, the edge of the box, D'Agostino! And there was the best chance of the game so far, and Nick D'Agostino couldn't hit the target.
Well, it's a brilliant pass from Nani. If anything, maybe could have kept it a little bit lower for D'Agostino. No, he had to readjust just slightly to try and get his head up. Is crucial there for opening the space for Nani to pick the pass into D'Agostino. No, he just couldn't get his head over the ball. Great opportunity for Melbourne Victory.
Now MacArthur looked to respond. It's his long ball. Adabuli meets it. Will be a Victory throw down at right back. Dwight York up to the edge of his technical area. Tony Popovich asking for a lift out of his team with 2 minutes of regulation to go in this first half. Bacchus. And eventually the whistle comes to his aid, but I think initially he had been keeping his feet, Arzani, but you hear "get up Arzani" as Dwight York shouts. He had been collapsing to the floor without a foul coming to his aid on a couple of occasions, and there's another. Referee points at the ball, and Victory are away into their attack. Half, Cadete. But it was wrong side of the goalpost.
Well, he's coming, Nani, isn't he? He's becoming more and more influential for this Melbourne Victory side. He's had a few siders on goal now. He laid on some final passes. It's a warning sign from MacArthur. They can't switch off for a split second with a player of that quality.
Now there's a bit of concern for Daniel Arzani here, favouring his left shoulder. You wonder if this immediately pertains to the most recent time that he went to ground. The build up to that last passage of play.
I dare say he was just pointing straight to his AC joint there, which is very, very painful if you land on it. Not sure if he's grabbing his neck or shoulder there, but the pain seems to be in his left shoulder.
2 additional minutes signalled by the fourth official. So will Daniel Arzani have to leave the game, or can MacArthur ride this out until half-time? Is it the stinger? You see Lockie Rose there has got up to his feet, but the bib is very much still on. Arzani resumes his dialogue with the referee and the fourth official.
He certainly doesn't look too comfortable.
Just eavesdropping on Dwight York that he said, Arzani, are you all right to continue on? And it sounds as though the answer was yes. But definitely his head's not quite engaged with the game the way that MacArthur would like. It's very much about, am I getting fouled, rather than what can I do on the ball. They might need the halftime team talk to cool him off here as he favours his arm, shuffling forward Arzani. The winged man, can he make something special happen? Arzani. He's going to curve it into the box, and it's turned away by Cadete. Coming out for only a throw. Now there's slightly more fluid.
Early.
Maybe just a sniff of an attack. The adrenaline started pumping. Half-time almost upon us, but that little break for Arzani means we might go a bit beyond the signalled 2 minutes. Jonathan Aspropotamidis now just getting but has descended into a bit of frustration on both teams' part. Melbourne Victory would love to go out with a bang before the half-time whistle, though. Cadete steers it back for Nani. On the turn, his cross is deflected. Miller prevents it going behind for a corner. He cannot, and so maybe one last hurrah to finish the half here.
And again, some real trickery from Nani inside the box there to create that opportunity. We see Jake Brimmer just struggling with a bit of a knock to his right ankle by the looks of it.
That's why he's not taking this here corner. Instead, he's still getting back to his feet. And Philip Curto raises the hands and plucks it out of the sky. And it's accompanied by the half-time whistle. And so we are goalless at Campbelltown after 45 minutes. And an important half-time team talk coming up for both teams here. A few words being exchanged by Lee Broxham and Daniel Arzani as Broxham.
Thank you. Stay program. One up, one down.
We're going to play.
Winning.
Jadi kolektor jersey itu ngeri-ngeri sedap. April 2018 pernah hilap tergoda beli jersey Kurt Miranda 850 euro. Justru saat sedang antar istri untuk umroh. Ini salah satu pembelian tergila saya nih. 10 Mei 2008 anak pertama saya lahir. Istri sepakat untuk menamai anak kami Muhammad Ibrahimovic. 2009 Ibra hengkang begitu saja ke Barcelona. Ini cukup menyedihkan untuk saya. Tapi saya akan selalu mencintai Ibrahimovic, anak saya. Hari demi hari kehidupan saya dikelilingi si biru hitam. Saya selalu bersyukur menjadi seorang interisti. Inter tidak butuh saya, tapi sayalah yang butuh Inter. Saya bangga bahagia saat Inter menang, tapi akan selalu loyal walau saat kalah. Saya Ahmad Dimyati, fans sejati Inter Milan selamanya.
We are rivals. To move forward, to break glass ceilings, to achieve what seemed impossible, to be a little better every day. And for this, we play with heart.
โลกนี้เต็มไปด้วยทีมที่ลงท้ายด้วยซิตี้ยูไนเต็ดโรเวอร์สแต่มีทีมหนึ่งที่ไม่เหมือนใครก็คือท็อตแนมฮอตสเปอร์ไม่ว่าแพ้ชนะหรือเสมอสเปอร์ก็จะอยู่ในใจผมตลอดไปสำหรับผมมันไม่ใช่แค่ของสะสมนะครับแต่มันเหมือนเป็นการบันทึกแพชชั่นของตัวเองมากกว่าในฐานะแฟนบอลเนี่ยคือคิดว่าต้องมีซึ่งบางคนอาจจะว่าผมบ้าก็ได้นะครับสำหรับผมเนี่ยมันเหมือนเป็นส่วนหนึ่งของชีวิตไปละจากสนามไปจนถึงผู้เล่นจากสีสันของเสื้อไปจนถึงโลโก้ทีมและทุกสิ่งที่เป็นตัวแทนของสโมสรท็อตแนมฮอตสเปอร์ทุกๆแมตช์ที่สเปอร์ลงสนามมันเป็นช่วงเวลาที่สำคัญแล้วก็มีความหมายที่สุดสำหรับผมผมไม่เคยลืมแมตช์นั้นมันเหมือนเพิ่งผ่านไปเมื่อวานนี้เองและนั่นก็เป็นจุดเริ่มต้นของความคลั่งไคล้ในสเปอร์สำหรับสโมสรอื่นนะครับชอบยึดติดอยู่กับอดีตแต่สำหรับสเปอร์ สที่อนาคต
นักฟุตบอลคนนี้คือคนที่เราชอบมากความฝันก็คือไปหาเขาที่เนเธอร์แลนด์มีความสุขมากนะครับแต่สุดท้ายก็ของที่ได้มาทั้งหมดนะครับถูกขโมยก็เป็นเหตุการณ์ที่ช็อกที่สุดครั้งในชีวิตมันคือปี1994เลยครับสมัยก่อนมันอินเทอร์เน็ตมันไม่เข้าถึงอ่ะแล้วก็หาข้อมูลหาตั้งแต่หนังสือเข้าห้องสมุดไปบ้านเพื่อนเล่นเกมก็เริ่มต้นตรงนั้นแล้วพอ Facebook มันเริ่มเกิดขึ้นมาเราก็เริ่มไปสร้างแฟนเพจชื่อว่า Arsenal in Thailand แล้วก็เพจชื่อเบอร์7ปีต่อมาผมก็เก็บเงินแล้วก็เดินทางไปอีกรอบหนึ่งสิ่งที่ประทับใจที่สุดก็คือเขาพูดเลยว่าเขาจำผมได้สิ่งที่ผมเอามาทั้งหมดเขาเซ็นกลับมาให้หมดเขาก็บอกว่าขอบคุณที่มาเจอเขารอบที่2เราสะสมเสื้อมาตั้งแต่ปี 2002เราก็ถึงจุดที่ว่าเราเลยเก็บเสื้อ100 คน100 ตัวบนเสื้อสโมสรเดียวผมก็อยากจะแชร์สิ่งนี้ให้เขาได้เห็นว่าแฟนบอลอาร์เซนอลประเทศไทยคนหนึ่งเนี่ยทำได้
คำว่ายูกันเนอร์ปลดปล่อยแพชชั่นของคุณไปกับ Arsenal TV เกาะติดไปด้วยกันกับเรื่องราวอัปเดตของทีม แมตช์ไฮไลท์และเนื้อหาสุด Exclusive มรดกแห่ง Invincible บทสัมภาษณ์สุดพิเศษ
Big honor, you know. Nobody wants to lose. You will find out.
ของดาร์บี้บ้านเดินห้ามใจแต่จะมีใครหยุดยั้งตัวตึงแห่งปารีสสู่เส้นทางแชมป์ลีกสมัยที่11ได้หรือไม่หาคำตอบไปด้วยกันที่ลีกทั้งเรนเจอร์และเซลติกต่างไล่บี้กันอย่างเข้มข้นแต่ทีมไหนจะสนุกทีมไหนจะฉวยโอกาสทำแต้มต่อร่วมกันเป็นพยานแห่งความมันที่ไม่เหมือนใครในก็อตติสพรีเมียร์ชิพงานนี้เราใจแบบไม่พักเพราะเมลเบิร์นดาร์บี้พร้อมทวีความดุเดือดห้ามพลาดกับศึกแห่งศักดิ์ศรีที่มีเดินทำ
Ahmed bin Ali Stadium stands proudly in Al Afay, one of Qatar's most historic cities and home to the famous Al Rayyan Sports Club. It is located right on the edge of the desert and wows arriving fans with its brightly coloured facade, which boasts a dancing light show to get you in the mood for the main event.
So Didier, we're here at Ahmed bin Ali Stadium. It's an absolute beauty, 40,000-seater arena. What emotions does it? Maybe it's the colours and the way the seats are all planned out, but I just walked in and felt like, bring it on. Bring this World Cup on. Or maybe it's because England-Wales are playing here. That's going to be a game.
Oh, it's going to be, oof, what kind of atmosphere it will be. Maybe as well because the seats, you know, are not like that, you know. It's smooth, you know, when it goes up. It's, yeah, England-Wales is going to be a brilliant game. I can't wait just to see the atmosphere, even on TV. So, yeah, that's the stadium that I like inside. Maybe the roof as well. Look how it's going, you know. Some roofs, you know, are shorter. This one is really, really nice. Really
football?
You just said it. There's two words that we don't especially know in the Middle East. That's passion, as you said it. You know, they like their clubs, but they like all the big clubs in Europe. We don't know from Europe how much they love it, and of course, you know, they love their club and their hospitality as well. You know, the Middle East hospitality. It's not a mirage. It's really there. You know, when they invite you, you can feel it. You can feel at home. They put everything on the table. You feel like this when you leave the house. So it will be exactly the same all around the country. And this is not only Qatar, as we know. This is all the Middle East, all the Arab.
So Didier, here we are, Ahmed bin Ali dressing room. Very nice. I'm liking the curved seats. What do you think of this one in comparison to some of the other stadiums you've been at?
Yeah, the curve is there. You can see the colors of Al Rayyan, you know, black and red. Nice lightening. There's still the big screen, that big table in the middle, so it's quite the same and quite comfortable and wide. A lot of space here.
We're going to see some big teams play here in the group stages. We've got USA v Wales, the first match, England, Wales, and then you've got Belgium, Croatia. Two big teams, a lot of big players, big names going to be here in this dressing room.
I think, yeah, you're going to hear a lot of even English fan or Wales fan from the dressing room. They make so much noise, so looking forward. Well, Belgium, Croatia as well. It's one of a kind, you know, two great teams. So, yes, it's going to be a good stadium for big games as well, yeah.
Makes you think, two big strikers in there. You've got Harry Kane, you've got Lukaku. Who's getting the golden boot this World Cup?
Wow, with the experience of Harry Kane, I think maybe it would be him. You know, England's got a lot of experience now from the last World Cup, from the Euro. Let's see what the regular players like Maguire, if they're going to play or not, but they've got a good pace, good players. Defensively, they've been tremendous. So once you're good defensively, you have more opportunity to attack, that Kane can shine a little bit more. So I would go more for shine. But Belgium, this is the golden generation. The last tournament, yes, so maybe they will want to shine, and Lukaku as well will be at the end of the action.
More than 80% of the construction material came from the original stadium that previously occupied the site, whilst existing trees were also carefully retained. After the World Cup, the venue will return to its rightful owners and continue to be the home of Al Rayyan Sports Club.
ถ้าอย่างนั้นให้เชลซีทีวีเป็นเพื่อนคุณเข้าถึงทุกเรื่องราว
100%.
Wow stunning ข่าวสารล่าสุด
This is the best league of the world. Come on, you Blues.
บทสัมภาษณ์สุดสำคัญ
The vision for the club and what they wanted to do.
ฟุตบอลที่จัดจ้านในสไตล์สิงห์บลู
Raheem Sterling and he's hammered in. Should be Chelsea's game.
ไม่พลาดกับทุกจังหวะของเชลซีทีวีที่ beIN Sports เท่านั้น
That's like really special.
Champions League คืออะไร
Terrific technique.
ความปราบปลื้ม
Surely an historic win.
มรดกตกทอด
And Solskjaer has won it.
จินตนาการ
We bring the cup to Portugal and we made history.
และเกียรติภูมิซึมซับทั้งหมดนี้ได้ Superb จ จากยูฟ่าแชมเปี้ยนส์ลีกแมกกาซีนโชว์ที่บีสปอร์ต
Welcome back to Campbelltown Stadium, and this was one of the moments of the first half. Nick D'Agostino was throwing his weight around and ultimately left frustrated as he was unable to hit the back of the net with the best chance of the first 45 minutes, which means the game is indeed goalless. It would have been an assist for Nani, but he couldn't keep it down, and over Philip Curto's bar and net it went. And so that will be in the back of MacArthur minds. Good to see their young fans are starting to get out and enjoy some football. A-League men's resuming after the World Cup break. And you see that number there. Phil Moss, Victory, failing to score a first-half goal in 5 out of 7 this season. They are not fast starters.
No, that's right, they're not. And that book that the young supporter was holding, Mission Zero, probably sums up the first half as well. No goals, but we need one.
And so who will take the risks? Who will dare to score and maybe be the aggressors in this game? It was a very promising first 15 minutes, but then started to descend into a bit more of an arm wrestle before Victory began creating again in the last 5 minutes or so. We saw the patch-up job being done on Daniel Arzani, so he'll have tape all over his shoulder and arm and torso. How uncomfortable will that be? How many more minutes do you think he'll have in him?
Yeah, well, it depends on how much damage there is, but it's certainly restrictive to have that sort of strapping on your shoulder, and every movement you make affects your shoulder. So it'll be interesting to see how long he lasts.
Victory take kick-off then, start of the second half. And their visit to MacArthur is goalless for now. As Danny De Silva puts the ball on the deck, and here is Daniel Arzani. We'll see how he moves and how he goes at the start of this half. And immediately De Silva's looking for him, and Arzani shuffles out to the ball. Into the box he goes. Arzani stinging the fingertips. Drew blocked away. And it might have been by his own teammate De Vere, who was running through. And arguably MacArthur's best chance of the game in the first 30 seconds of the half.
And by the player that we were just wondering how long he'd last, Daniel Arzani, with that shoulder injury. He showed no ill effects there, so maybe the strapping might just get him through this game. Wonderful opportunity. I spoke in the first half about how Arzani carries the ball in between his feet. Look at that, instep, and then he can jink and go outside with a drop of the shoulder. Great effort on goal.
And Izzo able to make a strong save to keep Victory's clean sheet intact. It's his left shoulder, Arzani, so that's where all the work's been done. Aggressive throw into the middle of the pitch from Carete. However, Ramashan is forced to bide his time, and Brimmer gives the ball away. Bacchus steps away from Nani, and he's fouled. Jonathan Barrero, quick chat with Nani, and Ivan Vojica is on the move for MacArthur. Past him. Economides gets the better of the duel. Just dinked along the line by Ramashan, though. Straight back to Aspropotomitis of MacArthur. Now here's De Silva. Arabuli. Broxham. It falls at the top of the box. Davia. And now a chance for Drew. He's in space, cutting it back. De Silva. And there was a wall of Victory defenders in his path. Bacchus. Arzani now. Twisting and turning and trying to find a way. Bacchus lifts it in and swept out for a corner, and a sustained period of pressure from MacArthur.
What a... certainly paid dividends early on, and Arzani is absolutely central to it. Been involved 3 or 4 times already.
So the corner, in it comes.
He was betwixt and between there, whether to shoot or lift the ball to the back post area. Neither happened. Good delivery into a dangerous area by Drew.
So far this season for Daniel Arzani, it was against Adelaide on the 16th of October. There's discussion going on here. Not sure if there would be a reason for VAR to take any interest in that last passage of play, and indeed there isn't. See some of the numbers there. Melbourne Victory had been probing into the MacArthur area a bit more in the first half, but that number is slowly starting to move back to parity.
Well, I dare say it was below 20 just 4 minutes ago. I think there's been about 3 or 4 entries in the opening stage of this second half for MacArthur. Desperate for those shadows to make their way further across the pitch. The quicker that happens, the cooler it gets. You can see that the shadow's really starting to creep.
Long ball, awkward initially, and then Curto, after it held up off the turf, was able to run through the gap and grasp on. Realists to win, Nani. Brimmer's pass. Swept down to the left side of the pitch, but no one advancing. Started his A-League men's career, of course, at Melbourne City. He's had stints at both the Mariners and Newcastle. Jake Brimmer. Long nor placement to really trouble Curto.
I think that was partly because everyone knows when Bruno gets in those positions, he wants to cut inside and bend it to the far post. Done it so many.
His turn to attack. De Silva's ball. Drew, cut back. Blocked away by Geria. Izzo was down trying to deny Devere, but his defender was there for him first, and there's a prone MacArthur man, which leads the referee to whistle play dead.
Well, that was excellent from Drew. I was critical in the first half of him not picking the pass when he got into those advanced areas. That is an example of picking the pass. Fantastic ball in behind by De Silva, and there's real intent and precision behind that delivery into a good area. Blocked by Geria when it was almost certainly headed inside that far post. $136 matches for 14 goals. If there's a criticism of De Silva's game with his ability, you'd like to see a few more.
The victories looks. This time his attempts to cross are blocked away, and it does go behind for a corner off Aspropotomitis. It's about the sharpness for him when the chances present, isn't it?
It is, and I can't help but think he just showed too much of that to Aspropotomitis. Instead of being more positive, and the ball was put out in front of him, D'Agostino. He was looking too early for an option rather than being a bit more selfish.
Melbourne Victory are readying Ben Falami to come on. And not at all effective, as Economides has to go and chase it out of the penalty area. Out of the shadows, can he swing in a dangerous ball? Timotheu nods it down on the spin. Fornaroli, now D'Agostino! And he rattles the woodwork. He's getting closer, but he still can't find that goal.
He can't, and the only reason is it was an absolutely brilliant save from Philip Curto. Fingertip save onto the crossbar. Brilliant strike from D'Agostino. He cannot believe that hasn't.
Of players looped back in. D'Agostino nods it down, even though it's on target. It doesn't beat Curto this time, and he's now starting to tally up some saves as attacking chances present. The whistle's gone. Offside.
Well, that's unforgivable from Arzani. Here's the save. Look at that. Fingertips onto the crossbar. You would have seen it late too, Philip Curto.
And so it looks as though Ben Falami is just going to bide his time here, because Victory have got a bit of a sniff, and Fornaroli was part of that last passage of play, so maybe he sensed the end was nigh and doesn't want to leave the game just yet. Here's Bruno now. Marchand to Brimmer. Well, we know he's dangerous from distance, but he was trying to slide in D'Agostino there. Aspropotomitis. Brimmer just made it slightly awkward for him, but no foul. Play continues. Cadete. Cadete, what's his right foot like? No power to beat Uskok, who got a block in the road, but just the way he struck it, it didn't look like it was heading on target. Broxham. Victory have found another gear.
They certainly have. The last few minutes, MacArthur started the half the stronger of the two, but Victory have certainly played themselves back into the contest.
Now it's a question of if they can capitalise while things are rolling downhill for them. Economides. Nunny touches it inside. Marchand just glancing over the top out to the left, but there was no one advancing onto the ball. Cleared away by Miller. Brimmer. De Silva intercepted his pass and now plays it to Arzani. And if MacArthur were to strike here, it would be against the run. Arzani. Felled. And we're going to see a card for Jake Brimmer. And Arzani with a bit of cheek.
And the crowd, a little bit of a riot cheer as well for Jonathan Barrero getting the card out. He's lucky he didn't come down on his left shoulder on that occasion, Arzani, because that really would have tested the strapping. Get his left shoulder out of the fall very quickly.
Of course, Brimmer and Arzani know each other from youth national teams, so perhaps that little tongue out was not intended to be anything other than a little bit of stirring. Arzani has dusted himself off and is ready to swing in this free kick. Big moment for MacArthur here. They've been absorbing Victory chances. Now can they strike with one of their own? Headed away comfortably by Fornaroli. Arzani right at the edge of the box. Great little spin on the ball. Took on one defender too many. Izzo calls keepers and is able to hold on.
Oh, he's done well there, Izzo, because the ball was spinning away from him. I think the breeze was taking it away from him as well, but he took the pressure off his defenders by coming and claiming that. Some really good defending from the set piece by Bruno Fornaroli as well. It was good delivery from Arzani.
See those XG numbers have started to tick over a little bit. Victory almost up to 1. Feels as though they should have a goal to show for their combined efforts so far in the game. And that sub we flagged was in the works is now going to be made, and it is indeed Bruno Fornaroli that will leave the game. And a bit of new energy comes on in the form of Ben Falami. Falami hasn't scored in what is now his 7th appearance of the season, but his last goal back in April was against MacArthur, so he'll be looking to repeat the dose here. Do you think Tony Popovic will be happy with the almost hour's work he got out of Bruno Fornaroli today?
I think reasonably happy. Of course, you always want players like that to create and score goals. And he did neither of that, but I think his general output was very good.
Ball breaks kindly for Nani. Falami, what an introduction this would be. And it's a great tackle coming in from Vujica. Ben Falami, immediate involvement off the bench, but Vujica came across from left back and short-circuited it.
He was asked to start his engine very early, Falami, wasn't he? Ball in behind, hasn't even been out there a minute. Nearly had an instant impact.
And he'll be looking for the pass again here. Pointed to where he wanted it played, and now from the left flank, Falami squares it and turned over the par by Economidis. He slipped at the key moment.
Well, he's got to do better there, Economidis. For a player of his class, he's got to finish that. That's brilliant work from Falami. First of all, the run in behind between the two centre halves, and then to stand up Aspropotomides, pick the pass. Economidis just stopped and propped, and that had him leaning back instead of running onto the ball, which would have helped him generate the power as well and keep it down.
Arabuli was protecting the fall of the ball. However, victory prevailed. Back to Izzo.
His frustration will be just starting to grow a little bit, Tony Popovic, because to my thinking, Melbourne Victory have had two of the clearest cut chances. D'Agostino.
And now another great long ball for Falami. The flag stays down. Uskok. No foul, no whistle. Play continues. And MacArthur are away. Will VAR intervene? In the meantime, Jed Drew is trying to get in behind Timotheu, and he has done so. Jed Drew, the cutback is blocked and then cleared by Cadete. Suddenly it's end-to-end. And we have a flash point at the hour mark, as Tomislav Uskok went in and appeared to make contact, but the referee did not see a foul.
Well, the game just came to life, didn't it, Teo? I wouldn't be surprised if VAR's having a look at that. And we may just have a stoppage in play next time the ball's dead.
It will be controversial if MacArthur score here, only for it to be a penalty at the other end, and that cross floats out. Talk us through it. Brimmer's pass.
Great ball in behind, great run in behind as well. You just see him grab there. For me, that's enough for a penalty. It's been waved away by VAR and referee Jonathan Barrero. Looks like it's going to be play on, but gee whiz.
Change. Al-Hassan Toure is coming on. We've seen Jed Drew put in 61.5 minutes today. He leaves the game. And we've got Lockie Rose coming on too. So a couple of attackers coming on for MacArthur. And Bashana Arabuli's starting debut has not been quite the performance that he or Dwight York would have wanted. Perhaps sends in frustration for the big Georgian. On comes Rose. He's got such a great record of scoring. You go back to the Falami chance immediately after getting subbed on. That falls to Lockie Rose. He's the kind of player that generally buries it. And so it's a refreshed front two as the Bulls try to get back into this game, given that Victory are creating chances aplenty and have had an almighty penalty shout, which was waved away. And here is Uskok resuming his duel with Falami. Toure. First touch off the bench. Yields to Cadete.
And there is a school of thought that Ben Falami could have been stronger and stayed on his feet. I still think there was enough contact for him to go to ground and have a genuine claim for a penalty.
Now we've got Nani going nose to nose with Kieran Backus. There's a bit of edge in this game now. Johnny Barrero in there trying to be the peacemaker. It seems as though Backus putting his hand on Nani is what is causing so much angst for the Victory marquee man. Wants to let his boots do the talking here. Brimmer swinging a pass through the right side. Economidis advanced onto it. And he met the ball in a way that just dinked it down to Curto to hold on. And that was another promising move for Melbourne Victory.
Another fantastic opportunity. Nani was frustrated throwing his arms around. He wanted the delivery to him. He was in space. The game just starting to open up now.
Broxham's back pass draws in Izzo. D'Agostino. Matthew Miller. Feeds it out to Toure. Jinking run. Can't outfox Cadete, at least not initially. That little turn, again, is not able to outwit the Spanish defender for Victory. Falami tries for the burst of acceleration, and Miller matched him stride for stride. And the home fans really appreciated the defensive work there.
Well, that wouldn't have looked out of place on an athletics track, that race between Matthew Miller and Ben Falami. Great little tussle.
Arzani. See Devere waving his hands in frustration. The ball wasn't advanced there, and instead it goes back to Aspropotamidis in the defensive half.
Arzani just cramping up after that last action. You can see him there, still struggling.
In fact, joined us during the half-time break, or during the second half. He had his shoulder heavily strapped after solid impact with the turf in the first half. That was all done in the rooms at half-time. So his upper body is having problems, and now we're seeing the legs get some work too.
Well, the good news for Dwight York is he's got a player by the name of Craig Noon on the bench. He can come onto that same area, same position as and Miles in the legs of Daniel Arzani over the last few years. To be cramping at his age just shows the couple of seasons to get back to the form and fitness that we know he's capable of.
There's a few mumbles of discontent as Victory didn't deliberately give the ball back and instead rather did so by accident. And now we've got Devere collapsing to the turf and winning a free kick. It's all a bit scrappy out there at the moment.
Well, I'm not sure about that foul. I just think Devere ran into the back of the Victory player. You see it here.
Right flank, and so a set piece leads to another set piece. Bit of confusion over who the corner taker is, and so eventually Lockie Rose runs over to the right side. Paul Izzo setting up his defence. You see the flag, it's quite steadily favouring the end that MacArthur are attacking now. We heard from Nick D'Agostino at half-time that the warm wind wasn't helping anyone's cause. Let's see if MacArthur can use it to their advantage. The corner falls in the 6-yard box, but there isn't a poacher on hand. And Izzo acrobatically sliding to keep the ball in. Still a couple of prone bodies in the area, and the referee will whistle play dead.
Yeah, I don't think he had a choice there, Jonathan Barrero. It looks like no problem with the referee stopping the game if it's a leg injury, unless it's serious. I think the game should play on.
And during this delay here, let's throw it down to the sidelines. Tristan McManus, what have you got for us?
Hello, guys. Yeah, all positive subs from both teams. And I think that the crowd here have really reacted to it. It's funny, I was sitting here, no one's really had a bad game. It's just the game needed a change. I mean, look, we can all play Football Manager here. Personally, I probably wouldn't have taken Bruno off. I had my eyes on Economidis. I thought he might have came off. But they've made that sub, and Ben Falami's made an instant impact. And again, I thought this game has just been calling out for Toure. Again, Drew has been Toure. Those three players have come on. Melbourne Victory fans have reacted well to it, and the home fans here have reacted well to it. There's going to be a goal in this game. I know there is.
Any more chat about Arzani? Because he's in the wars, Tristan. We've seen shoulder. Now we've seen his legs. It seems as though they're keeping the faith in leaving him on the pitch, though.
Well, they are at the moment, but he has that impact. There's nothing better